Hi Tarot Tribe, it's Ethany and welcome to another episode of the Tarot Cafe. And today I'm going to go through my story of how I found the tarot and what brought me to work with divination as a tool for helping others and helping myself and growing spiritually and transformation and all that sort of stuff. So I actually realized that I had never shared this on my YouTube channel. I've written about it before on my blog and on my website, ethany.com, but I really hadn't shared it on this new format that I have on my new channel. So I'm going to do that here. And yeah, so a few people have asked me, and I thought I would honor that and share it here. So I was a very sensitive child, extremely sensitive child. I couldn't watch certain movies. My parents used to watch movies before they would allow me to watch them. Sorry, I've been talking for nearly 2 hours straight. So they would watch them before I could watch them, because just to make sure they weren't too shocking for me, or there was nothing in it that would affect me. And there were times as a child when I would stay, when my parents would be out, and one very specific memory of mine was when we were at a friend's house, and their parents obviously didn't sort of screen what they watched, and I watched The Terminator 2, and I had such bad dreams from that movie. And I was too young to watch it anyway, but so that's what would happen if I watched something that I shouldn't have watched, because I was a little sensitive soul. I just would have nightmares, and I would have reoccurring nightmares. So very early on, I would have a reoccurring nightmare. I would, in the screen of my mind, I would know it was coming because I would see a blank. It would be like a white blank screen, and then it would be like a child was drawing a house, and the line would go for the bottom of the house, and then the normal house, the chimney and the door and all that. And I'm like, oh, and I would just know, I would get into anxiety mode as I was sleeping. And I knew this dream was like, this reoccurring nightmare would be happening, because it was like my brain was like unrolling this script that it just constantly did whenever I was anxious or having a very hard time. And then when the house was finished being drawn, it would zoom in to the door, and then there'd be all these cogs underneath, like a clock, like an open face of a clock. And then I would feel this presence. And every single time I would feel and see this presence. And this presence reminded me of a circus ringleader, but he was really fat. And I remember seeing a lot of red and a lot of blue, and I was just terrified. And my parents, thank goodness, instead of sending me to shock therapy because of sensing things and having these nightmares and being super sensitive, there were times when I would feel something in my room and I would just cry, because I didn't understand it. I didn't know what this was. I didn't want it there. And I would just cry. And instead of sending me to get shock therapy because of it, my parents sent me to a child counselor who helped me with pre-recorded meditations, which helped train my mind. Something that I hope to pass on to my son is things like that, to work that part of your brain that knows how to visualize from a really early age, and not to snuff out not that my parents did, but to snuff out the imagination, because that is a hugely creative tool. Very powerful tool when it comes to meditating and to learning how to control what you're projecting in your mind and out into the world. And so because of that, and because they also gave me a crystal, an amethyst donut, and anyone who remembers those, they were like such the rage. Everyone had them, like the jade ones and things like that. So I had an amethyst donut that I had to wear all the time. I had meditations I was to do. So that trained my mind, and it trained my mind very well, and I learned how to control my dreams. So when this dream would start, my reoccurring nightmare would start, I would visualize a little man come out in a painter's outfit, And he would get a roller painter, and my dad's a carpenter and a builder, so we used to paint all the time, so I knew what all this looked like. And he would paint the screen in my mind white, and then I could start again. I could put myself in any position. And I had to do that from an early age because I was suffering from these nightmares. So I learned how to control my dreams very early, which was very rad. And it saved my life. So I'm thankful to my parents for not sending me down the road of like, you know, you've got the devil in you and all that sort of stuff. So I had a stressful time in elementary school, what North America would call elementary school, what we called primary school. And when I moved to high school into a different district, everything changed for me. I had different friends. I was in scholarships. I had amazing friends that I'm still friends with today. And it changed my stress levels. It changed my anxiety levels. I wasn't being bullied anymore. And my dreams, which obviously can be a reflection of what's going on in our lives, got much better. But so if you get bullied out there, you know, it does get better. But it can be hard. So, but that's not the story. That's not the, it shaped me for who I am, and I'm forever grateful. And as an adult, you can look back on that and think there must have been some really nasty stuff going on in those kids' lives. And if it wasn't, my mum was amazing. She bought me self-esteem books. She helped me, you know, I came from a very supporting and loving family. So I was very lucky that I had a haven to go to, even though school was really hard for me in elementary or primary school. So then very early on in high school, I guess I was always really drawn to, I love nature, always really drawn to the magical side. I love fairies, always have, always will. I used to play Ethne the Good Witch, and I was obsessed with the Wizard of Oz. I wanted Galinda's wand, her crown, her dress, and I wanted to travel in a bubble. I was obsessed with being a good witch. I used to send my sister and my friends off to collect spell ingredients, and we would make potions, and I was just obsessed. Like, and this was like from a small kid, so I was probably destined to be a witch, and that's how I took my name of Ethne, was from making it up when I was 11 years old and having no context as to what that meant for me, but that it was just something that we would do. So yeah, in high school, in high school, we were able to pick anything we wanted to write about in one of our English classes. And I picked the witchcraft trials in Salem. And the Crucible as the supporting document, the supporting literature, and then looking at, like, we had to research it and come from it from an angle that we wanted to. And I came from it from an angle of, you know, this was what of the time and this is the literature, but there is this whole other side to witchcraft. So I went to the State Library to do some research, and I came across this book, and I still have it. I don't have it here, but it was the first book that, amongst all the books that talked about all the nasty stuff that's perpetrated about witches and witchcraft, all that propaganda, was called The Learned Art of Witches and Wizards. And I felt like I came home. It was this, I'll have to try and find a picture of it and stick it in this video, but it was this beautiful book full of pictures, and it just talked about nature and being in tune with everything, and how you could be the one to create your life, and how everyone should take responsibility, how as a witch you take responsibility for your life. I mean, I don't obviously agree with you can be a wizard if you want to, but that the male craft members have to be called a wizard. But yeah, it was amazing. And I spent, it was like 10 cents a photocopy, and I photocopied nearly every page of that book. So I found that through my English essay, and that was it. That was me. I was home. When then Practical Magic came out, this was around the time of The Craft as well, when I was in high school. And there was a group of girls running around saying that they were like witches and were causing all these things to happen at school. And I was just very quiet. I was so in the closet. I was like, if anyone found out, everyone's going to hate me, all that sort of stuff. So I was in the closet to most people except for a few of my close friends. And then as you work with paganism, especially if you work as a witch or as a Wiccan, it's very natural to kind of go to a tool of of divination. It's one of the aspects or one of the arms of magic. And I saw the tarot as one of these tools. And I was working in a shop called the Pickled Fairy and Other Myths in Fremantle, Western Australia, and I love Fremantle, I miss it. And I purchased my first tarot deck, which was the Mythic Tarot, the original, when I was working there. And I loved it and fell in love with it and did a few readings, and I kind of think it spooked me a little bit about how like on point it was, and was going through that typical time as a teenager that while my spiritual practice was really important, so was, you know, boys in school and all that kind of stuff, and I did theatre, and so I kind of put them away for a while, and then I graduated and I was initiated and I as a witch, and I was like, I want to meet other people, I want to find other people besides my mentor. So I found them myself. I ran workshops in Fremantle. I posted a advertisement in a local paper, like a local New Age paper. My parents let me use our second phone line, which was a fax line, put a phone in it to take phone calls, and that's how I met my tribe. And really in Australia, and really the tarot then came back when I was really practicing, and as an adult outside of school I could now do a lot more. But I came to the tarot when I was 16 years old. I adore it. It has helped me through many things. It has been a reflective tool for me. It has helped me understand aspects of myself in a beautiful visual way. It has awakened a lot in me as well. I think I will be working with the tarot forever. And then when I was working in my first job, I found a local store which was called the Sun, Moon and Stars, and I met Gail Shenstone, who is my first tarot teacher outside of my own study with the tarot. And I did all of her workshops on the tarot and psychic development. I have got the biggest amount of respect and love for this woman. And through her I met a whole bunch of other rad people in Perth, and I miss them incredibly. And it was really through Gail, when we were a part of the course, and what I also teach now as well at the Tarot Readers Academy, is that you do practicums. So we would bring people in at the last course lesson, and we would read for strangers. And she really encouraged me to keep going. She's like, you've got a gift for this, you're a natural, you should read for people. And having that sort of praise from someone who has been reading the tarot most of her life and who is just so incredible and so well respected and known in the community, was like, the candle was lit for me. It really was. And I've gone to her over the years many times. I remember speaking to her saying, I think I'm going crazy. Like, I keep getting these flashes, I keep getting all this information, and she really helped me work with my spirit guides. And you know, when you have those days, and there are tarot readers out there who just like, I've had these days where you just feel like nothing's coming easy, that it's hard work, and you're just like, why am I doing this? And you want to give up. She's been there for me when I've had days like that, just saying, keep going. It happens to all of us. And then when I've had days that have been awesome and I've been like on point and I'm just on my game and things are super smooth and my guides are just like chatty and telling me everything, and I'm just like, have client after client after client who's just really happy. Those are the days I go, this is why I'm doing this. Or days that are really transformative for me, because no matter who I'm reading for, there's always a healing part of this for me. There's always something in the exchange that is for me as well, to learn and grow. So that's how I came to the tarot, and now I teach it at the Tarot Readers Academy and face-to-face in workshops in Vancouver. I'm currently writing my first tarot book, which is very exciting, and I've designed my Lenormand Oracle deck, which is another form of divination, which again Gail introduced me to because she uses it. So it's been an amazing journey. I'm not going to admit how old I am, but let's just say it's been, let's just say I now have been working with the tarot for pretty much over half of my life. And it's been incredible, and I am very lucky to have a boyfriend who reads the cards too, more just for himself, not for anybody else, but I don't have to hide it. My family is super supportive. Very, very lucky. I realized not everyone has that, so I'm very blessed. So that's my story. If you're still watching, thank you for still watching. I now have this amazing international tribe of people that I connect with on Instagram and Facebook and Tumblr and Twitter. And on my mailing list on ethny.com. I love doing Oracle Wednesdays every Wednesday, and you can sign up for free over at my website, which is below. And I just like thank the goddess every day for my path, for the passion I have with the tarot, because it is truly my passion. And my good friend Lee and my coven sister Lee in Australia, she said, you know, it's really is your passion, and this is really what you should be doing. And again, when someone affirms that for you, and it's not just something that you are like you're making up, it can be a powerful thing. So this is what you love, if this is what you love to do, if you want to help heal people and transform your life or other people's lives, then come on over to the Tarot Readers Academy, see what you think, sign up for the free Spirit Guides and Tarot workshop. Ask me questions. Don't be afraid to ask me questions. I don't bite. I love when people ask me questions. And yeah, so that's my story. Thanks for watching. And if you like the tarot, subscribe to this channel and subscribe to my newsletter. I don't spam. And I hope you are fabulous. And again, thanks for stopping by.